Hello and a very good morning to all our viewers out there. You're watching the morning news show on CNN News 18 and I'm Sriya Kundu, here to take you through all the top stories of the day from across the nation and around the world. And while we begin this segment with tracking some developments in Manipur that has been going on for some time now. Well, in the wake of the continuous tensions in Manipur, Union Home Minister Amit Shah is in the state to assess the ground situation. Today is Amit Shah's last day in the violence-hit state, where he will be holding various rounds of meetings with political parties in Imphal. Shah is also slated to visit Moreh and Kangkokpi to meet with the stakeholders during his visit. Now, on Tuesday, Amit Shah met various civil society groups from Meitei community in Imphal, following which he visited Churachandpur to meet with the leaders of the Kuki community. Now, Shah has also had an all-party meeting at the CM's residence in Imphal. A Congress delegation is also expected to visit Imphal today to review the situation in the state. Meanwhile, fresh incidents of firing were reported at Sugnu. Hundreds of Kukis have been evacuated from the affected area.
Ima market is the largest market in Asia that is run by women, and that is also the pride of Manipur. We have with us the representatives of Ima market. They have gone and they have met with Amit Shah. They have given a memorandum so that peace comes in. कि क्या बोला आपने अमित शाह को? अमित शाह ने क्या बोला?
अमित शाह दा कोई नंगसी थेंगा बजु थेंगना मणिपुर दा लापी बचे सिगी दमकता कोई याम नुआई
ये लोग कह रहा है कि अमित शाह अभी मतलब अभी इतना महीना होने वाला है, इसके बाद मणिपुर में आया तो इन लोग अभी बहुत खुशी महसूस हो रहा है, कम से कम आया बोल। अभी जो सारे मणिपुर का जो प्रजा लोग मांग ये रहा है कि जो अभी शूट चल रहा है ये एकदम हम लोग को नहीं चाहिए।
Ima market is the largest market in Asia that is run by women, and that is also the pride of Manipur. We have with us the representatives of Ima market. They have gone and they have met with Amit Shah. They have given a memorandum so that peace comes in, and we'll talk to them. They will be speaking in Manipuri and that will be translated. ये बताइए कि क्या बोला आपने अमित शाह को? अमित शाह ने क्या बोला?
अमित शाह ने कई कहा
अमित शाह दा कोई नंगसी थेंगा बजु थेंगना मणिपुर दा लापी बचे
कह रहा है कि अमित शाह अभी मतलब अभी इतना महीना होने वाला है, इसके बाद मणिपुर में आया तो इन लोग अभी बहुत खुशी महसूस हो रहा है। अभी जो सारे मणिपुर का जो प्रजा लोग मांग ये रहा है कि जो अभी शूट चल रहा है ये एकदम हम लोग को नहीं चाहिए, ऐसा शांति आए, शू ना रहे। इन लोगों को कहा कि अचानक तो हम निकाल नहीं सकते अभी, क्योंकि अभी बहुत सारा दंगा हो रहा है।
किसको निकाल सकते हैं? मतलब
जो शू मिलिटेंट का जो शू है, तो अभी आराम से धीरे धीरे हम जो नॉर्म से वो पूरा करके आराम से धीरे धीरे वो करेगा। अभी अमित शाह जी ने कहा कि जो अभी अलग सेपरेशन, अलग एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, ये सब का जो चिंता ये मत नहीं कीजिए, क्योंकि ये सब नहीं होगा।
We'll keep tracking the developments in Manipur, but for now we're shifting focus to a rather scarring incident that has taken place in Delhi a few days ago, wherein days after the horrific murder of a 16-year-old girl by her alleged boyfriend in Delhi's Shahbaz Dairy area, Delhi police will recreate the crime scene today. The Delhi police is yet to recover the murder weapon and are interrogating Sahil Khan to ascertain the sequence of events leading to the fight and murder on Sunday. On Tuesday, Sahil was presented before the court and Delhi police has granted him a 2-day police custody. Now, according to the police sources, Sahil has disclosed that he bought the knife from Haridwar 15-20 days ago. Meanwhile, the victim's family is demanding stringent punishment against him.
हमें बर्थडे में जाना था नीतू के यहाँ, तो उसे मैं बाजार से हम कपड़े उपड़े लेके आए थे साक्षी के लिए। फिर घर पे आए, साक्षी मेरे घर पे नहाई, ऊपर जाके कपड़े उपड़े पहन के आई। फिर उसे मैंने 500 रुपए दिए, मैंने कहा जा कपड़े लिया नीतू की लड़की के लिए एक जोड़ी।
आप उस दिन जब जा रहे थे तो ये बर्थडे पार्टी की बात थी, फिर उसने कहा कि वो फ्रेश
उन्होंने बोला मेरे को फ्रेश होने जाना है। मैंने बोला चलो नीतू के यहाँ हो जाना, तो उन्होंने बोला नहीं मैं 2 मिनट में होके आ रही हूँ। मैंने कहा ठीक है। फिर मैं नीतू के यहाँ चला गया। वहाँ पे मेरी गली के लड़के का मेरे पास फोन आया। उन्होंने बोला तेरे साथ जो लड़की थी उसको मार के गिर रखा है पीपल के पास। बस यही बात थी।
अब आप इस मामले में क्या चाहती हैं? आप चाहती हैं न्याय हो?
हाँ।
अच्छा, एक और मेरा सवाल रह गया, क्या आपकी इतनी करीबी दोस्त थी तो उसको जानकारी थी कि साहिल नाम है उसका, मुस्लिम है, ऐसा बता रही, कलावा पहन रखा था?
मुस्लिम वाली कोई बात नहीं थी, जात पात की कोई बात नहीं थी, बस उसे ये पता था साहिल नाम है, ये तो सबको ही पता था, पर जो जात पात वाली बात आ रही है वो कुछ नहीं थी।
टॉर्चर करता था, पिटाई करता था साहिल? ये
नहीं।
किसी की हत्याकांड में ये बात सामने आई है, आपका नाम आया है, आरोपी ने आपका नाम लिया है, कैसे आप जानते थे? और हत्या से एक दिन पहले आपकी साक्षी से क्या मुलाकात?
एक दिन पहले मेरी मुलाकात हुई थी कि वो मेरे पास आई थी कि कोई लड़का मेरे को टॉर्चर कर रहा है, तो भैया मेरी मदद करो। मैं भाई ठीक है चलो हम मदद करते हैं। तो साक्षी थी मेरे साथ, एक लड़की लेके आई थी, उसको भावना मेरे साथ की लड़की थी कि भाई इसकी मदद करो, कि भाई ठीक है चलो हम मदद करते हैं। तो हम वहाँ पे गए थे, तो मैंने उस लड़के को समझाया था कि भाई इस चीज़ को छोड़ दो, मत करो ये चीज़, किसी लड़की को टॉर्चर वगैरह मत करो, ठीक है। तो फिर उसने कोई जवाब नहीं दिया, तो फिर हम वहाँ से निकल गए थे। तो अगले दिन उसका मर्डर ही कर दिया था उसने। कैसे वो गई वहाँ पे, कैसे उसको बुलाया, कुछ पता नहीं।
क्या वजह मानते हैं साहिल ने क्यों हत्या कर दी? बता रहे हैं आपके संबंध थे,
वो उससे प्यार व्यार करता था। तो फिर वो लड़की मेरे पास आई कि भाई टॉर्चर करा, तो मैं उस लड़की के साथ गया हूँ। तो फिर साहिल को शायद हो सके ये लगा हो कि अब मेरे साथ छोड़ के अजय के साथ इसके संबंध है।
पेट नहीं भरता, ये खुद अपने मालिक नहीं है, इनका कोई मालिक दूसरा, ये खुद कंफ्यूज है, ये चाहते हैं।
सरकार के द्वारा और विशेष रूप से प्रधानमंत्री जी के द्वारा जो समय समय पर महिला सशक्तिकरण की बात करते हैं, उनको सम्मान देने की बात करते हैं, कि इनसे वार्ता करते, इनकी समस्याओं का समाधान करते।
Please saddened that our country has reached a position where wrestlers who have given their lives, their blood, their sweat to do well for India and for themselves have won medals, and today you are forcing them to go and throw their medals into the river.
But we're shifting focus to another story which has been gaining momentum in Delhi for a few months now, wherein massive drama has unfolded in Uttarakhand's Haridwar yesterday as the protesting wrestlers headed to Haridwar to immerse their medals in River Ganga. Now, a sea of supporters gathered as the wrestlers could be seen huddled to immerse their medals. However, farmer leader Naresh Tikayat intervened and stopped the wrestlers from immersing their medals, seeking a 5-day time from the grapplers to act against the WFI chief Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh. Now, meanwhile, the United World Wrestling condemned the treatment of the protesting wrestlers, and in a press release issued on yesterday, the UWW threatened that the Wrestling Federation of India could be suspended if the elections are not held in the next 45 days.
अरे भाई कुछ नहीं, 5 दिन का समय लिया और ये बच्चे आपात स्थिति में यहाँ से आ गए। हमें भी पता नहीं था, 2 घंटे पहले पता लगा, हम भी आए यहाँ से। कोई वैसी बात नहीं, इब्जा जाके तय होगी बातचीत। हम चाह रहे बच्चे कोई ऐसा कदम न उठावे, मान सम्मान की बात है। बच्चों का दिमाग भी ऐसा ही हो रहा जी, इनके सब कुछ लूट गया इनका। कुछ भी बात हो, ये तो आपात वार हुई एकदम। बच्चे यहाँ से आगे बिना बताओ आगे, थोड़ा सा पता लगा कि इस तरह की बात है, इस तरह का बच्चों ने कदम उठाया, तो हमने कुछ नहीं, जितने भी आदमी को हमने कहा वहाँ चलो ना, बच्चों को वहाँ तक उठा के ले। उनके मेडल भी हमने ले लिए और बच्चों को ले आए। बच्चों को बिल्कुल सेफ, ऐसी बात नहीं। वे बच्चे परेशान।
आप वापस दिल्ली भेज दिया है?
नहीं, तो यही रहेंगे, हमारे पास ही जाएंगे।
काफी विवाद में पड़े, अब पहलवान भी यहाँ से चले गए, उनका रंग बसेरा उजड़ गया है। अब आगे क्या इरादा है, मतलब क्या रास्ता देख रहा है?
मैं तो केवल एक ही रास्ता देख रहा हूँ कि दिल्ली पुलिस की जांच जो चल रही है, उसी से कोई रास्ता निकलेगा। और मुझे दिल्ली पुलिस की जांच पर पूरा भरोसा है। दिल्ली पुलिस ने हमको 2 दिन बुलाया और 6-6 घंटे बैठ करके पूछताछ की और आगे भी बुलाएगी तो जाएंगे। जल्द से जल्द चुनाव कराना चाहिए और बाकी जो बाहर टीम जानी है वो तो जो एडहॉक कमेटी बनी है वो कर रही है। ये खुद अपने मालिक नहीं है, इनका कोई मालिक दूसरा, ये खुद कंफ्यूज है ये चाहते क्या है। मेरे इस चुनरी पर एक भी दाग कोई नहीं लगा सकता है। क्यों नहीं लगा सकता है कि मैं दूसरे को नहीं जानता हूं, अपने आप को जानता हूं, अपने चरित्र को जानता हूं, अपने कार्य व्यवहार को जानता हूं।
Now we have some breaking news coming in from the international sphere, wherein a Chinese fighter jet carried out an unnecessarily aggressive maneuver near a US military plane over the South China Sea in international airspace. Now the jet flew right in front of the US aircraft's nose, forcing it to fly through rough turbulence. In a statement, the United States military command responsible for the Indo-Pacific said that the Chinese J-16 aircraft carried out the maneuver and forced the US RC-135 plane to fly through the wake turbulence. Now remember, such intercepts happen occasionally. In December, a Chinese military plane came within 10 feet of US Air Force aircraft and forced it to take evasive maneuvers to avoid a collision in the international airspace. Now, what the Chinese spokesperson had to say regarding this is that they did not comment on the specifics, but said that for a long time, the United States had frequently deployed aircraft and vessels for close-in reconnaissance on China, which poses a serious danger to China's national security. Now, this is the situation that has played out right now. You can see the visual of what went on. This visual was released by the Pentagon, and well, we're waiting for more updates on this particular story as and when it unfolds. Shifting our focus, as the Prime Minister-led BJP government completes 9 years at the centre, Prime Minister will address a mega rally in Rajasthan's Ajmer today. The rally will be a part of BJP's month-long outreach campaign, which starts today till June 30th to mark its 9 years in power at the centre. PM Modi will be travelling by a helicopter from Kishangarh airport to the holy town of Pushkar, where he will offer prayers at the Brahma temple. Now, the BJP event comes soon after the Congress leadership held discussions with Gehlot and Pilot in an effort to patch up their differences ahead of the assembly polls later this year. Union ministers and senior BJP organizational members will travel across the country to mark the Modi government's 9th anniversary in what is also seen as the ruling party's mega outreach to drum up support for the 2024 Lok Sabha elections as the 2024 Lok Sabha elections approach.
भारत ने अगले 5 साल में अपनी इकोनॉमी को दोगुनी करके $5 ट्रिलियन तक पहुंचने का लक्ष्य रखा है।
When the NDA government began its second tenure at the centre, Prime Minister Modi outlined his vision for the economy. 2025 deadline for a $5 trillion economy. While that deadline may be pushed forward, India's economy still remains a bright spot amid global headwinds. The International Monetary Fund has projected aid globally despite facing significant challenges such as financial sector turmoil, inflationary pressures and the effects of the Russia-Ukraine war, which have had effects around the world.
India deserves to be called a bright spot on this otherwise darker horizon, a fast-growing economy even during these difficult times. This growth is underpinned by structural reforms.
The country has been deeply divided between supporters and critics of Modinomics. But over the last 9 years, the Modi government has pushed forth with a reformist agenda. The GST was the mother of all reforms, as many economists would put it. Even as many state governments continue to be in a squabble with the central government over it, it cannot be denied that the taxpayer base has nearly doubled since its launch. India clocked a whopping 1.87 lakh crore rupees in the month of April, 6 years since the launch of GST. Another step to reduce leakages and bring in transparency was the introduction of the direct benefit transfer. On an average, over 90 lakh DBT payments are processed in India daily to send money directly into the account of eligible beneficiaries of government schemes. More than 24.8 lakh crore rupees has been transferred to DBT mode from 2013 to last year.
भारत सरकार ने डीबीटी डायरेक्ट जो डीबीटी के द्वारा हमने पैसे भेजे वो अमाउंट है 22 लाख करोड़ रुपए से अधिक.
Make in India was seen as Prime Minister's pet project aimed at transforming India's economy. Government's performance-linked incentive scheme in more than a dozen manufacturing sectors has given a big boost to that mission. After its launch in 2014, many wondered if the dream to make India a manufacturing power was even realistic. But 9 years later, many instances point to the success of this project. For example, Apple setting up its manufacturing unit in India, slowly moving away out of China. Reforms in the MSME sector have further enhanced the mission of this government. Improvements in ease of doing business in the country to empowering citizens and the big digital push, they have all been witnessed in the last 1 decade. From being one of the fragile five to being the world's fastest growing major economy, India has come a long way in the last 9 years.
Now, ahead of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to the United States, CNN News 18's managing editor Zaka Jacob spoke exclusively to the US envoy to India, Eric Garcetti, on Indo-US ties. Listen in.
It's the first time in 9 years that Prime Minister Modi will be attending a state visit. I think he's been there 4 times, if I'm not mistaken. What does this visit mean for the US administration?
This is really about the idea of the Indo-Pacific now becoming something real. Not just to guide our relationship with India, but to guide our own future in the United States, to make sure we're not dependent on any one place for our supply chains, to make sure that our values as two democracies stand in contrast to other countries who aren't democratic. This is about also the region and pulling together, not just through our bilateral ties, but our quadrilateral ties with Japan and Australia and the Quad, the I2U2 with Israel and UAE. We really have the ability, I think, to be a force together for doing good things, not just for our people, but a recognition in Washington that our future is tied to India's success and India's success is tied to ours.
We shall now slip into a quick break, but do stay tuned as we come back with more news and updates shortly on the other side, right here on CNN News 18.
Going to the United States for his first ever state visit. That's going to be a phenomenal thing in and of itself. There are going to be events around it. But to talk about the state of the current relationship, what are the growth opportunities and the challenges therein, I have with me the one and only Eric Garcetti, the US Ambassador to India. Yes. Thank you very much for speaking with us here on CNN News 18.
It's a great pleasure to be with you. Thank you for coming by.
All right. So you've been out and about here in India for a couple of months now almost. Yes. How's it been? How's your experience been so far?
It's been phenomenal. It feels like this is home. It feels like a place that has changed so much from the time I first came here when I was a teenager. But what hasn't changed is the spirit, the warmth of the people, the tie to history and culture. But you can feel something palpable that's different. India's kind of place in the world, India's investment in itself is really becoming a global example. And the friendship between our countries has never been stronger. You can feel that warmth between our leaders. You'll see it reflected at the state dinner. But it isn't just dependent on 2 people. It is about, 1.7 billion people who know, respect, like each other, and see the future of both sides tied together.
So how would you describe the current state of the India-US bilateral relationship? Of course, it's been, we've been hearing that, we're natural partners, strategic partners for the last almost 2 decades now. But what is the current state of the relationship according to you?
I think it's historic right now, and it's generational. Generational in both senses of the word. It's, something that's going to last more than this moment. It's an investment in a generation together. But it's also generating good things for our countries and for the world. Whether it's technology and making sure that technology can be a force for good and not of oppression, whether it's strategic partnerships that say this is about maintaining and respecting borders and sovereignty, open seaways, or whether it's the people-to-people ties, which of course we've been building for a long time. Every Indian knows somebody who's studied in the US, traveled to the US. I think that this is a historic moment of our relationship. You're right, it's natural, but it's also generational. This is something that is not just about the short-term transaction, it's about the long-term relationship.
I want to talk to you a little bit about something you talked about a moment ago about the state dinner coming up in June, in the middle of June. It's the first time in 9 years that Prime Minister Modi will be attending a state visit. I think he's been there 4 times, if I'm not mistaken. What does this visit mean for the US administration?
This is really about the idea of the Indo-Pacific now becoming something real. Not just to guide our relationship with India, but to guide our own future in the United States, to make sure we're not dependent on any one place for our supply chains, to make sure that our values as 2 democracies stand in contrast to other countries who aren't democratic. This is about also the region and pulling together, not just through our bilateral ties, but our quadrilateral ties with Japan and Australia and the Quad, the I2U2 with Israel and UAE. We really
Welcome back. You're watching the Morning News Show on CNN News 18. Now, in a major boost to Himalayan state of Sikkim, the state is soon going to get connected via rail now. Now, as the Sivok-Rango rail line project nears completion, Sikkim is expected to become a part of the national network by 2024. CNN News 18's Akash brings you this exclusive ground report. Take a look.
Nestled in the lap of majestic Himalayas, Sikkim has always been admired for its natural wonders and landscapes. However, its geographical constraints have made it very difficult to establish an efficient connectivity in the region, and especially rail connectivity. But now it is going to change. Sikkim is now being connected to rail network finally.
India's prime national carrier is ensuring all-weather connectivity to border states. With Sivok-Rango rail link project, northeastern state Sikkim is also going to be connected via rail. The 44.96 kilometer project includes tunnels and bridges in around 90% of the route and is in final phase.
I am standing at tunnel number 14 of Sivok-Rango rail link project, and this is the final tunnel towards Sikkim. The construction work is almost completed. This project is going to be finished by December 2024. This is around a 45 kilometer rail link project, which is for the very first time when Sikkim will be connected to the rest of the country via rail. This is very important, in fact, a very crucial rail project, because we know that how crucial Sikkim is, and also given that we have neighbors like China who are not having very good intentions towards India. This particular project is very important. 3 phases. The first phase is Sivok to Rangpo. The second phase from Rangpo to Gangtok, and the final phase from Gangtok to Nathula. Strategically important, and is going to be very, very important for our armed forces, because this particular rail line is going to give all-weather connectivity to the residents of Sikkim and also for our armed forces.
Northeast Frontier Railways along with IRCON began the project in 2010. It is set to be completed by 2024. It will have 5 stations starting from Sivok in West Bengal, culminating in Sikkim's Rangpo.
This Sivok-Rangpo railway project, we have completed almost 30 km of tunnel mining out of 38.6 km, and still work is going on. Every month we are doing almost 1 km. This year we plan to complete the mining activity, and lining work is in progress in almost 7 tunnel lining work is in progress, and we are doing about 1 km lining we will be doing as on date, and we hope to complete by December 2024.
first phase of the project covers just 3.52 kilometers of Sikkim, but Railways has much more to offer. The second phase of the project will connect the capital city Gangtok, while the final under-planning phase will go till Nathula. This will not just give our armed forces an edge, but will let them quickly reorient themselves.
This project is from Sevok to Rangpo. This is phase 1, considered as phase 1 of connectivity to be provided up to Nathula. And phase 2 from Rangpo to Gangtok is under DPR preparation. NF Railway is preparing the DPR for that. And from Gangtok to Nathula, there is PET survey work is being done by NF Railway.
It is another phase?
That is the third phase that will be taken up by Railways. And IRCON, as far as IRCON is concerned, we are doing only this part, up to Sevok to Rangpo.
With Sevok-Rangpo rail link project near completion, Sikkim is on a brink of historic transformation. With first phase, travelers, tourists and residents will have a more convenient travel experience. But with final phase that is going to be extended till Nathula, we'll have more convenient deployment in the border areas that will eventually counter China's aggression in the region. With camera person Arjun, this is Akash Sharma for CNN News 18.
That's all for this segment. Thank you for watching. For more news developments through the day, keep watching CNN News 18.